Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mario Torres, coming at you guys with my top 8 deck profile that I got at Regionals last week in Pomona. This is Darkness Dragon 1, it is deep. In Pomona, it was really fun. Unfortunately, I did lose first round in top 8, just like last year, due to some unfortunate things that happened with ruling and whatnot, but I'm not going to let that be the cause of my loss. Maybe there's some misplays here and there, but you know. So our buddy is Valgarin. A 1/1/1 size 0 act pay 2 life. Call a size 3 from your hand without paying its call cost. This card's really good. It gave Deep a lot of usable gauge since you only could just pay 2 life just to call a size 3, leaving you with usually 3 gauge on first turn and whatnot. So yeah. Starting off with the size 3s, we play 4 Divine Demon Slayer Amina Habiri. He's an 8/2/8, pay 2 gauge with double attack. He's pretty good. He has a lot of pressure, and he's a good wall for your opponent. 90% of the time, they usually have to link attack unless they have a size 3 of their own, or they have some type of destruction. He is fragile to destruction, and I did get Inferno'd to him a couple of times. So yeah. Next we play for 100 Demons General Goku Magayo. An 8/2/6, pay 2 gauge, put 100 demons from your drop zone into his soul, and when he's in your center, he gets double attack, and he has Soul Guard. So he's a pretty good wall too, just like Amino Habiri, but with Soul Guard and minus 2,000 defense. He's really good with Dark Energy, because Dark Energy would nullify his destruction and give him counter attack for the turn, so he'd essentially become a Billy Knuckle. And now for the MVP size 3, we play 4 Graveyard of Demonic Swords Graybard, a 7/2/7 of pay 2 gauge, and when he enters the field, you destroy a monster on their field and burn them damage equal to their size. So it's very punishing to size 3s and maybe monsters with lifelink, since they'll take an extra burn. This card was kind of unusable in the Ami matchup, being not as effective. But I did call him a lot still, even though it just kind of nulled out some of the damage. So we do play 4 copies of him because he's basically one of the best size 3s in the game, and he's basically the MVP of the size 3s out of the day. And on to our other size 3s, we play 1 4th Ami Fire Lord Burn Nova, an 8/2 or 9/2/8, excuse me. With triple attack, and you can only call him by when your life reaches 0, you put it back to 1 and pay 3 gauge, call him to your center or to anywhere, nuke your hand and your board, and you get to stay at 1 life, and he can't be destroyed and he can't be damaged for the rest of the turn. So it's a really good card. This card is a lifesaver. I kind of wish I would have saw him more in the tournament. I think I only saw him 3 times. But he does combo with Valgarin. You can nullify his call cost just to pay 2 life and call him, but you nuke your board in your hand. I did do this game 2 or round 2 to end one of the games off. It was pretty swag. So yeah. Next we play 1 second Ami Demon Lord as Modai. 53/10, pay 2 gauge. Penetrate, counterattack, lifelink 2, and when he would be destroyed, you can pay a gauge and discard 2 cards to keep him alive. This guy was also a very big MVP. Whenever I saw him, I did call him because you do have dark energies in the deck, so you can just stop attacks. And Death Grip also did give me some free terms, as well as Barbed Wire. And so those cards are pretty much his best friend. This card's really strong, and yeah, that's basically why we play him. And for the tech one, we played first Ami Beast Lord Zuin, an 8/2 or 8/3/1 of pay 2 gauge. Counteract, you may pay 1 gauge, and if he's attacking alone, your opponent can't nullify it, and he has penetrate. So essentially, this game stole 2 of my opponent's games. One against Dragon World. He only had Blue Dragon Shield, and I just called him and ended the game from there since he couldn't null it. And it's a very good card. I'm glad that I did tech this in last second because it did show that it was worthy of that spot. And on the size 2s, we only play 2. We just play 2 Death Wizard Dragon, 3/2/3 when he enters the field. Take a damage or take an automatic damage and then gain 2 gauge. This effect is mandatory, so you do have to do it. There is no choice. But yeah, this guy was pretty good. He gave me some extra gauge first turn since this deck can't really do a first turn that well. And he's a pretty good card. I did side him out a couple of times, but yeah. On the size 0s, we do play 4 of our buddy. Obviously, I've explained him enough. He nullifies call cost. Gives us some free more gauge to use our counter spells and defensive spells. So yeah, not much to explain here since I've already done so. We play 2 magical or shooter magical bullets Gaspard, a 3/1/2. He's a good vanilla. He beats over a lot of size 1, size 0s as well. Some size 2s, maybe like Brave Drum, which I did do a couple of times. So very, very good card, vanilla. And then we do play 1 Countdown, a 4/1/1, and when he's in your drop zone, you pay a life during the beginning of your main phase. You can call him. He has very good stats for a size 0, and he's basically a revivable Gaspard with 1,000 extra power and 1,000 less defense. This guy beats over a lot of things, and he's a very, very good size 0. So finally, we're on to spells here. We play 4 Dark Energy. It is pay 1 gauge when one of your monsters would be destroyed. You nullify its destruction and you get counterattack for the turn. This card's very strong since it helps penetrate, spectral strike, and all those on-hit effects, like maybe gain a gauge or something. This is the only spell in the game to do this, and so it caught off one of my opponents. He actually had to call Judge just to make this ruling clarified because he thought Drago Bond had the same wording. So when I tried gray barding him, he said that the monster wasn't considered destroyed, so we had to call Judge. But yeah, this card's very, very strong. This card's an insta staple at 4 because it protects all of your monsters and it gives them counterattack, so you have a chance to defend. On to the other spells, we play 3 Black Dragon Shield. You may only cast this when you don't have a monster center. Counter, nullify the damage that you take into 0, and then you gain a life. I like this card just because sometimes your opponent does use destruction and kill your size 3s, so you do have an open center by then, and this card's very liable to do so. So it's a very good card. I did only run 3 because I didn't feel 4 was a good number because of another card that I will show you right now. The other card is 3 Midnight Shadow. Nullify an attack if it's not a link attack. Essentially, I liked running 3 and 3 because I don't want to run 4/2 of anything, and the nulls are pretty nice since you can nullify an attack from like a size 3 with this, and you can just null damage with this. So it's pretty nice for defensive nulling, and yeah. Next, for the draw power, we do play 3 Abyss Symphony. If you're at 6 or less life, you pay a gauge, draw 2 cards. This card's very good because you have a lot of sustain for your own life, and then you can also manage your own life with Countdown, Death Wizard, and your Valgarin, reducing your life by 1 and 2. So this card becomes active very often after you do that. And for our other spell, we do play 3 Devil Stigma. You cannot cast during the final phase, and you kill one of your own monsters, gain 2 gauge, and you gain a life. This is basically your way of gauge excelling in the deck. And this card's very good against Penetrate. I played against 4000 Festival one of my matchups, and this card was very active since they had nothing but size 1s with Penetrate. And our other 3 spells are 3 Death Grip, Pay 1 gauge, counter destroy size 2 or less. This card stops a lot of things. Stops attacks, link attack shenanigans like Dungeon World, Hero World. They can spell null this easy, but like they have a lot of investment to do if they can't end the game off from right there. And I do play a size 3 deck, so this card just makes them struggle a lot. And yeah, very good card. Next we play 200 Demon Sorcery Dark Target. This card was pretty amazing. Nobody ever expected this card to come in. It's choose a monster on your opponent's field, and during this turn, when that monster is destroyed, you draw a card and gain life. This is what I meant by sustaining your life. You can use this card, cast it on a monster, and then you can like call Greybard, and then you get to draw and gain a life. It's like an upstart goblin essentially, and if they have a monster with Soul Guard, this thing's stacked. So if you kill it more than once, you get to draw even more, and you get a +1. I played in the Yamageto matchup, and I casted this twice on his Yamageto, called a Greybard, blew it up, got my 2 cards and 2 life, and then I attacked it, and then I got 2 more cards and 2 life. This card's pretty strong for the meta right now, since there is a lot of monsters with Soul Guard. I did use this against a Brave Drum as well, and my opponent nulled my attack twice just so I wouldn't get the draw off. So he invested a lot just to stop me from getting a single draw. Next we play 2 Bloody Dance. It's choose a monster deep in its attribute, and you give it +3/+3 in counterattack. Dear Draco energy, essentially. The only reason why I only play 2 is because there's not a lot of deep monsters. We do play the Ami Lords, so if you have Asmodee, this card becomes essentially dead. Yeah, this card's pretty good because you can use it with Goku Magayo. Even if they are stronger, you can just cast this to gain counterattack for that single battle, and then pop one of their monsters. And we do play 2 Barbed Wire, counter, tap a weapon on their opponent's field. This card's pretty amazing. It's free, and it stops basically all Hero Worlds in their track. I did play against a Quartet 5 deck, and they brought out Dizium, and I just tapped it, and he lost the turn essentially, especially when I sided in more. And last but not least, we do play our 2 impacts, which is Dark Increment over the Grudge. It's 1 second to focus. You can only cast if you have a size 3. Deep monster in your field, pay a life, and then destroy an item on your opponent's field, and then you can put this into the soul of a monster, or you can gain a gauge, or put it into your gauge. So this card's good at Goku Magayo, giving him another Soul Guard for more dark energy plays, keeping him alive longer, and you can give this to gauge just so you can activate more counter spells if you're like 1 gauge short, and you have like maybe 2 copies or just a single copy. And that's it for the deck. The deck is 51 cards. Like I said, I teched in that Zween last second. So yeah. On the sideboard, we play 1 Double Stigma, 1 Black Dragon Shield, 1 Death Grip, and 1 Midnight Shadow. These are the 1-0s of the side deck. I couldn't fit 4 in the deck, so I just decided to side them. I sided in basically all of these at one point in time in the game. I sided in Death Grip and Double Stigma more, Midnight Shadow the most, and these more, and I sided in Black Dragon Shield in some matchups. But yeah, these cards pretty good. I don't regret siding these at all because they're all very good. It made it so I just ran 4 evs in the deck when I just took out some useless cards in certain matchups. So yeah. Next, we play 2 more of the Impact because Weapon Hate is the bane of my existence. Hyperion does exist in the game, but I didn't play against them. But Hyperion, Kaiserion, Dizium, and just big weapons that can kill my monsters by themselves. Even the Night Weapon that's in AK with Penetrate, essentially, was a very big hassle, and this card just deals with it a lot. We played 2 more Barbed Wire because, like I said, a lot of weapon hate for the deck. Just dislike weapons, essentially. And then for the last 2 cards, we do play 2 more 100 Demons, Sorcery, Dark Target. I sided these in against a size 3 matchup. Yamageto, I just instantly sided in 4 of these, or 2 more of these, just to have 4 copies. and it was very active in the size 3 matchup, so I just casted this, and then they were afraid for their lives for me getting these free pluses off with this card. Like I said, this card is a pretty MVP because nobody expected it, and no one had the ability to counter it, so it was very good for me. Kept my life up, kept me in some of my games, and yeah. So that was my deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be posted on Team Burning Infinity's channel, and I do appreciate them letting me post this on their channel, since unfortunately I wasn't able to post it on mine due to some recent activities. And I'm sorry for the shaky camera and maybe low and the brightness, because I am using a phone, so using this one-handed is kind of hard. I don't have like no tripod or anything for this thing, so nothing special. But I do appreciate you guys taking a look at this, and thank you all of Team Burning Infinity. Thank you and goodbye.